Peace. What's good? What's good? Salute to the members. Salute to the members. We in the building. Well, this came across my timeline. I want to talk about this, man. I see a lot of people talking about this. A traffic stop from a college student. He got assaulted by a police officer. Let me run a clip.
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here.
What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right. Get on the ground.
No,
Get on the
no,
ground.
don't.
Get on the ground.
Looks like it's a sucker punch because he's looking straight and you see this.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out and then you see a couple of punches to the face. Now, again, I understand breaking the window, but he charged him with resisting arrest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think the public saw a lot of
Well,
violence.
first of all, Eric, don't try to talk the public into what they saw. They just saw the same video as you saw.
Kenzo, salute. Only facts in the building. Bart, salute. Yeah, man. So I seen this, right? So I seen a couple people making videos. Now listen, man, you know, the whole Black Lives Matter was about police brutality, but it turned into something else and then something else. But it is a problem, right? But now my whole thing about this whole video, I seen people, speaking about the video. They said, the driver was not complying and all of that stuff, right? And I was taught, because I'm black, I was taught as a kid, just comply with the police, right or wrong. If they wrong, they right. If they violating your rights, just go along with it. Just comply. You know what I'm saying? Because it may save your life. Now, when I got older and I started learning about rights and all of that type of stuff, that's not right. That's not right. Police can't violate your rights. Matter of fact, they work for you. You're a taxpaying citizen. But now I'm hearing this rhetoric on social media. And, especially from black people. Now, listen, man. Even some people saying, he should have got out the car. Even if he didn't get out the car, even if he was completely wrong, that assault was unjustifiable. Now, everybody who speaks about this say, they went too far with the assault, with putting their hands on him like that. Everybody say that, but some people say, if this wouldn't have happened if he would have just complied and all of that. Like, don't we got rights? So, I don't know, man. Listen, this got to stop, man. It don't matter, it shouldn't matter what color or race or whatever somebody is. That could have been you. That could have been one of your kids. That could have been one of your family members. And yeah, what if they didn't comply? What if they were in the wrong? They deserve to get assaulted. Now I can understand self-defense. That wasn't self-defense. That was assault. Trooper, salute. They are peace officers. Right. Now, listen, I know about this stuff. I see a lot of people online and they speak about, oh, you should have just complied. Oh, you should have did this. Oh, if you would have did this. And a lot of these people, they never been through these situations. I've been through situations where I have done nothing. I have done absolutely nothing. And I complied. Just to get assaulted. Thrown on the floor, face pushed in the floor, handcuffs squeezed tight. For what? Bobby Ramos. I remember I was a kid going to the store. This before I was into any crime, anything. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't into none of that type of stuff. I'm going to the store for some milk for my mama, and police jumped out on me, threw me on the floor. And I can remember the smirk. But anyway, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. Now, you know, if y'all look at the video, if y'all see the whole video, maybe, you know, the young man, he was in college. They said they found weed in his pocket. So what? Like, the point is, besides what happened, it should be an outrage for that officer putting his hands on that young man. That's the point. People, commit crimes. It wasn't no major crime. It was like he didn't comply, I guess, about getting out the car. He had they said he didn't have his headlights on, or, you know, all of that type of stuff, even if he was wrong. Anytime a police officer uses excessive force against a civilian, a taxpayer, we should all be outraged, because that could be one of us, one of our children. Right. Yeah, you know, I'm from New York. It's a police state. New York is a police state. See, and this is what I'm trying to tell people. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. People done got lawsuits because of the whole stop and frisk, racial profiling. You know, some of my friends got lawsuits, even though they was guilty of the crime. They still got the lawsuit because it was stop and frisk. It wasn't a justified stop. Even though if they got caught with something and they was wrong and all, they still won that lawsuit. So that's my point with this. Even if this young man was wrong, there was no excuse for that officer to behave in that manner. And me, you know, when I was into the streets and all that, and that happened and all that, I'm like, you know, that's part of the game. It is what it is. You know, I'm out here doing what I do. They do what they do. But that young man wasn't breaking no laws, and he's a college student.
Can you call your supervisor? All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here. I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right. Get on the ground.
No.
Get on the ground.
It looks like it's a sucker punch because he's looking straight and you see this.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out and
Yep.
you see a couple of punches to the face. Now, again, I understand breaking the window, but he charged him with resisting arrest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think the public saw a lot of
Well,
violence.
first of all, Eric, don't try to talk the public into what they saw. They just saw the same video as you saw.
Now, come on, y'all. How many officers was that? 5 officers punching this man in his face? It don't look like they was under any threat. It looked like the situation was handled. He was complying. Red Jones, salute. Now, people talk about that father that, you know, took revenge out on the police for his son. And, you know, some people say that's wrong. Some people say, you know, if that was their son and stuff like that. But, you know, we can prevent situations like this from happening. Police supposed to be like public servants. It's not the military. So, it's different, in certain communities. And, I don't want to make this a black and white thing, right? Because this affects everybody. But, it starts out with, black people, they do things and they pass laws and people see things, injustices happening to us and all that. And, some people make excuses, ignore it. Some people don't say nothing about it. And then it start happening to them. Same thing with the whole drug war, the war on drugs. It wasn't a big deal till it started hitting certain communities. But you got communities who have, who band together and, go to, community board meetings and, stick together. So, we got to do that with our communities also. You feel me? But there's no excuse for that. We need to speak out against that and stop making excuses for things like this. That could have ended up being worse. That young man could have lost his life, and it would still be people out here talking about he should have complied and he wouldn't have lost his life. I heard that growing up. So I never looked at the police as protectors of me. You know what I'm saying? I was taught to fear them, to fear the police, even if I'm not a criminal. There's something wrong with that. Buck, salute. What's going on? What's going on, my brother? So I come from a culture where we are taught to fear the police, even if we're doing everything right. And I don't think that's right. How are you going to get treated like a criminal if you're doing everything right? You might as well be a criminal. And that's the mentality of a lot of us. So, that's bullying, that's harassment, man. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I used to watch police shows and then, play cops and robbers when I was a kid and all of that. Cops was the good guys and all that. But when I started going outside, it was a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? And then when I study the history of America, you learn that the police started out as slave catchers, the overseer, officer. KRS-One, the overseer. Yeah. And they still ride around on horses. So it's a whole different mentality for me, and for people, which I want to call FBA, what I call Negro. Pamela J, salute. So when I go outside and, regular, civilians and all that, they go outside and even if they're in a bad neighborhood or something and they see a police presence, they supposed to feel safe. But I felt more safe around criminals than the police. So as a kid, if that would have never happened to me, if those police would have never violated me like that, Lord knows and Lord knows where I would be right now. Because that put a real chip on my shoulder. And before that, I ain't have no real issue with the police. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time me and my little brother, we got some handcuffs. We found some handcuffs. I think we was like 6 and 4, something like that. And we cuffed our ankles together, and we got stuck, and they had to call the police to come get us out of it. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first early memory of the police. I ain't have no problem with them. I was happy they got me up out of there. You know what I'm saying? A couple of years later, here we go. I remember too, Pamela. I'll never forget that one. Salute, Red Jones. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I don't understand why people is not outraged about this. Instead of making excuses for the police, speak out against obsessive violence, unnecessary violence. Like, people do crime. Like I said, people do crimes every day, and that young man didn't do no major crime. So I don't know if he was right or wrong, but right or wrong, it was wrong for that officer.
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm
here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right. Get on the ground.
No,
Get on the
don't.
ground. Get on the ground.
It looks like it's a sucker punch because he's looking straight and you see this.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out and
Yep.
you see a couple of punches to the face. Now, again, I understand breaking the window, but he charged him with resisting arrest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think the public saw a lot of
Well,
violence.
first of all, Eric, don't try to talk the public into what they saw. They just saw the same videos you saw.
Now, listen, he's better than me. He's better than me because when they that initial punch to the face, like my fight or flight, like I got a fight reflex, like I got a fight reflex, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just an instinct. But that man, that young man took that punch to the face or slap or whatever that was, and he still was compliant. He still was patient. So when they pulled them out, all that extra stuff they did, that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? And some people, like I said, some people look at color and all of that, and it takes away your compassion. Like that could be you, that could be your son, but some people just see a black man. You feel what I'm saying? Or even if it was a white man, some people only see a white man. If it was a Hispanic man, all they see is a Hispanic man. But that was a young man. That was a kid in college. You feel me? It's like Trayvon Martin. Whatever the dude name, Zimmerman or whatever, he seen, a black man in a hoodie. But that was somebody's son. That was a kid. It's like I seen this video, right? And it was this white dude. He was kind of like built, big dude, and he was drunk. So he was driving, and they pulled him over. But then he started wilding out. So the police is trying to calm him down, but they didn't have their hands on their guns. They because he probably reminded them of one of their drunk uncles or drunk nephews or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at color, it takes away people's humanity. Sometimes you see one thing, but this could be a whole nother thing. Like sometimes mentally disturbed people, you don't know they mentally disturbed. Right, Miss Pamela. Nobody deserves treatment like that. Like, especially in this country. So, but you know, we separated by color. So, you know, it is a color thing and all that. I'm not saying that, you know, this doesn't exist, that, you know, black people are targeted is a fact. They had stop and frisk, racial profiling, like they had this, they admitted this. But all the way around the board, that ain't right, man. Officers like that need to get checked. Y'all expect us to check, you know, our people who's out of line and all that, shooting up the neighborhood, selling drugs in the neighborhood. You want us to cooperate with the police, neighborhood watch, and you want us, but you don't want to check your own people. They criminals. But anyway, I'll drop the call line if anybody got anything to say. But like I said, I don't really know the case. But I know that wasn't right. Right. Yeah, and it's like, you know, the police, if another police report another police, they look at it like snitching and all that. Like it's kind of like they like the criminal. Like it's like the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? And people, and another thing, let me say this before I drop the link. People always talk about, you know, the behavior, of people, you know, who come from, you know, situations such as mine, the streets and stuff like that. But to tell you the truth, to be honest, you know, as I grow, you know, older and I study more and I look at this behavior is taught. This was taught to us. By the people in charge. But the only difference is when we do it is wrong. And when they do it, they justify it. So Lucky Luciano and yeah, man. But like I said, man, our government is a bunch of thugs. And that's where we learned this from. They stole land. They stole stolen land. But anyway, if anybody want to hit the call line, it's in the chat. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me drop the members only link in the chat. 1 second. It's 2025. Sometimes I can't believe it's 2025. Sometimes I really can't believe it's 2025. Uh-oh, we got a caller, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, we got a panelist. Good afternoon. It's Salute, Kenzo. What's going on, my brother?
How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
I'm alive and free. I can't complain.
I hear that. Yeah, I knew a little bit about the case, so I figured I'd, jump up real quick. You know me, I always know a little bit about everything.
Now that's a good look.
So did you, I may have missed it. Did you know why he was pulled over, or I just want to know where to start from?
Well, I didn't mention it, but I know it's supposed to be a law if it's like some type of weather.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have
I mean, that's even a
windshield.
law in Pennsylvania. I've heard of this law. I know people that were pulled over for it. I mean, he's in Jacksonville, Florida. I didn't know if it went down there, but I've heard of it before. I mean, nowadays you'll even buy some cars where they have daylights, right? Like the lights are automatic.
So you want to explain it to the viewers, because I didn't really speak about it.
Sure. So the initial, what you would call the initial contact, the reason they pulled him over is no headlights during inclement weather. So it wasn't raining anymore, but it was still, quote, overcast. You could see it had rained. The back of his car had water on it. When the cop's body came, you could see water. So like but they pulled him over for and they said no seatbelt, even though, as you see when his video starts, the seatbelt's on. They pull him over, and as the cops
when they pulled him out, it looked like his seatbelt was on too.
Yeah. So I'm not going to make an accusation. They made the accusation. I wouldn't. Now, what I think, maybe he put his seatbelt on. We see through the body cam, which is out now, that his video starts about 20 seconds after, like, say, their body cams do. They get out the cop car. You see all that. They're walking up. His video starts almost about 20, I'd say probably 20 seconds. So could he have put the seatbelt on in that process? Sure. But I'm not accusing anybody of that. I know people who've been pulled over with the seatbelt on, and the cops trying to tell them they did it. So I would never fight that point. However, that was what he was initially stopped for: the no headlights in the weather and the no seatbelt. As the cop gets out the cop car, now this is all out there now as well, guys. You could check it on your own. This is the body cam footage, which has been released. I watched that yesterday, the day before yesterday. You see the cop get out the car, and as he's approaching, the guy opens the door. Now the cop, cops get jumpy when they see that. He says, "What are you doing?" The guy says, "My window don't go down." So he's, leaning out the door. He's in the car, but he's leaning out the door. The window don't go down. So he asks why he's pulling him over. He tells him, he says, "It's not even raining." The cop's like, "Well, I'm pulling you over for it." And the guy says, "Give me a sergeant," and closes the door. So right then that's when the cop, like I had wrote earlier in your chat, it's been my impression, at least, opinion, that I feel like sometimes the police look for these little reasons. So yeah, we pulled you over for headlights, but the second you close that door and I say open it and you don't, now I could get you for resisting. And it feels like that pumps them up, that builds, it escalates.
Right. Some people may call that racial profiling, but one second. We got Miss Pamela on the panel. How you doing, Miss Pamela?
Hello there.
Hey, sis.
Hey, how are you guys?
Great.
Can't complain.
No, I hadn't heard anything about this. I was just I had myself on mute listening to what Murph was saying. Murph was saying about the case. I hadn't heard anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on company hours, actually. So.
Oh no.
No, I'm not. Actually, I get off at 1:00 today. What time is it? 1:17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that law about when it's like sprinkling outside and you don't have your windshield wipers on, your headlights on. Was this what happened to this young man, that he got pulled over for this?
Yes.
That's what they were saying the pullover was for, yes. The no lights being on. And like I said, some modern cars do it on their own. So I know some people would probably never even think. In Florida, it's not especially rainy other than certain season, So do people even contemplate that, is what I wonder. Some people don't think about putting their lights on. The car does it automatically.
See, my point is, even if they was justified in the pullover, the use of force was unjustified.
The entire thing is only 4 minutes, maybe. So it's like it's crazy to see that escalation to that point. Like, you know, and I mean, his video is only what, 30 seconds long, the young man's, you know what I mean? Before he's ripped out the car. And you could see it. Like, yes, he's punched in the face when they break the window, and they could say, oh, that was inadvertent. I was trying to punch the window all the way out. But that one, when he's out the car, that's clear as day. There's no excuse. His hands are behind his back. There's two people holding his arms. That's just, to me, that's coward stuff.
Was he in the
But we
car?
see this aggression all the time. If he wasn't filming, he may never made it to the police station. They may have just beat him up and left him right there.
Miss Pamela, you was going to say something? I don't know if you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
Can you hear me now?
There you
Yes.
Was he in the car alone?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm.
Red Jones just put in a so powerful comment. You would think this man was a fugitive. You would, wouldn't you, Red? You really would. You would
Yeah.
think that this was a 60, pardon me, this was a 160-mile-an-hour chase, and this is the end of it. It's like, no, this guy was driving, and it was raining, and, you know, it was like, I believe it was like 1:30 in the afternoon. I could be wrong on the time just a little bit, but I believe it was like early afternoon. And that's what it was. You know, you pull this guy over, and that quick it escalated to, as this cop, you know, you see it on the screen, as this cop is punching the windshield, you know, with his flashlight to break that, not windshield, pardon me, the window, driver's door window. It, on the body cam footage, you see two cops turn that corner, and as soon as they do, the cop on the driver says to the cop on the passenger, I'm breaking the window. So it's like this entire thing was about 3 minutes in at this point. They had it does feel like we're chasing a bank robber here. This guy had no headlights.
Yeah, and that's why I say college student, because people think this is a grown man. This is like a young man. His mother was speaking. You feel what I'm saying? Like this is a he played in the band. You see, like on right here, that's him.
I was unaware of all that as well. So you're giving me information as much as I know. I didn't even know about the band thing.
Right.
I thought he was a young man, not that young.
Yeah, because you know, people see, that's what I'm saying. People, like, sometimes, you know, when something happens, people will depict somebody a certain way, and that matters to the public. You know what I'm saying? Especially when things like this happen. Because, like you said, you think he robbed the bank or something, but he's just
for sure, right?
College student. You know what I'm saying? Like,
6 cop cars were breaking windows, were punching them. You would have thought he went on a spree. You know, he went into a maternity ward and acted crazy or something. You know what I mean? It's like this guy. It was no headlights. There's no headlights. Why are we beating him up?
On one of the reports, allegedly, they said, you know, he went for a knife. They found a knife in the car. But I didn't see him.
They found a knife in the car.
Yeah, I didn't see him go for no knife. When he got punched in the first time he got hit in the face, he just froze.
Yeah, he folded his arms, right? I think that's what he did in the video. He like folded his arms, like, all right, here we go.
So it's like it wasn't like they was in danger or nothing like that. Like they didn't have to do all that.
And as you said, you were always taught coming up, as soon, you know, comply. You were taught that as a young man. I'd assume so was he, and that's what. Oh, we're to this point already. All right, let me cooperate. My arms are crossed. I'm not fighting you guys, you know. And you see, he even got the charge, right? It was resisting without violence. So they didn't, that means he's not even holding their hands. Because trust me, they tiptoe the line of that violence very much. I watched some of those body cam videos, and it could be a teenage girl stealing from Walmart, and because she pulled away, they got her with violence. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, she pulled away. She wasn't aggressive. You know, she wasn't on the offense. She was more on the defense. It was just weird. They tiptoe that line.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, man. Because, you know, this new generation, they see these auditors and cop watch, and you know, they try to mimic that. But you know, especially if you're black, you gotta be careful. That's why I salute to Joe Cool, man. That's why I always say Joe Cool was a superhero.
Yeah.
Okay, Pamela.
No, I totally agree. I
So
totally
it's
understand
different.
what
I
you mean by
mean,
that.
you know, you see people get away with it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of black auditors and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
And
Especially in
cop
cities,
auditors.
in certain type of cities.
For sure. And the
Right.
cops don't like cops don't like the fellow white auditors. So I could totally get what you're saying. Like they hate, oh, this guy's a sovereign citizen. They'll say that to each other on the radios. And that's
Yeah,
just
because
someone
that's what he was kind of doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want
That's
your
what he was
supervisor.
kind of doing.
Yeah,
He
you're
was trying
pulling
to
me. It's not even raining. Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, because that's not
the
even
one-
our language. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We don't learn that from ourselves. This is something we learning from off here. we
I
don't. We
think
know
we
way.
have to-
Our parents and stuff don't tell us,
Yeah.
"Yo, ask for a supervisor." Supervisor, like we don't.
You know what I would say too? I heard it was a lawyer who said this, and he was he kind of agreed with, you know, the complying thing, because that's where, like I said earlier, it's easy for someone to say just comply when they're not literally being harassed. It's literal harassment. Like you walk down the street, where's your ID? What are you doing? All right, so if I deal with that every day of the week, I'm not supposed to be a little frustrated. Like it just makes common sense.
Yeah, like that lawyer, he wouldn't just complied.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Because he
told us
knows the
it's
law.
not raining. It's not raining. Period. So of course, but you know, I did hear this lawyer who was speaking on it. His thing was, and I kind of agreed to an extent. I think we do need to teach the youth, our children, the time to fight, like quote fight. I'm not saying this young man fought. I'm saying to stand your ground whenever, whatever adjective you like to use. I'm just saying the word fight is in the courtroom, not on the side of the road. That's what we gotta, you know, that's kind of, that could save lives. That could save whatever you want to say. Just, you're 100% right. It wasn't raining. So start filming and fight it in court. Yeah, it's an inconvenience. You're locked up for the weekend. You get a ticket, whatever. But I do
mean,
understand
that sounds great. But at the end of the day, that force they use, like that wasn't justified. Like
there's no
it's like you
justification
bullying people into
Yep.
just going along. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it's like you bullying them into just that's not police.
Kindergarten bullying.
Like,
it's kindergarten bullying, right? Do what I say, or I'm going to beat you up. Me and my friends are going to beat you up.
Right. Now they could have broke
like,
the window.
You know
what I'm saying? Like that was I guess that was within the law, breaking the window, pulling him out the car. All of that was within the law, putting him on the ground,
I mean,
putting his
they
hands
can
behind
squeeze it within the law. They can get it within the law. My problem is the amount of time.
But punching on them, like punching somebody, that comes out of that either you in a professional fight or you lost your cool. You know what I'm saying? Like if you punch somebody.
And a cop shouldn't be justified to hit anyone unless they're defending themselves.
Right. That's not. I don't. You know. That's not that's like a last resort tactic in self defense. If they taught that in the academy, they're not taught to subdue people by punching them in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like
sometimes
that's crazy.
I wonder what the training is, though. You know, like certain things in the training seem flawed, right? Like when we see, I don't want to ruin names here. Philando, who was taken out by the police, you know, where he was in his car with his wife and his child, said he had a gun. They shot him. Like in that situation. Oh, man, I'm losing my damn point. You just said something that triggered that in my mind. I'll get back to it. I'm sorry.
They'll plug us. Salute. No, it's all right. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they need to police those type of police because it's kind of like you creating more criminals, like you creating people who's against the police instead of
I don't think that's taken into effect at all. I don't think they care or think about that at all. I mean, the point I do recall now is I brought up Philando. They're taught to shoot center mass because obviously common sense would tell you that's the easiest place to get, right? Your head can move, your legs can turn, they're thin. So they're taught to hit people. So it's like you're kind of training them just to take somebody out, like not subdue. You know, when they have to shoot, they're shooting to take you out. It's not to stop.
Right now, that's a whole different story. I'm not talking about
and that's in the
that.
training.
Like I could see if they just like with the knife, like nobody had their hand on their gun and all that. Like they wasn't, they didn't feel threatened. You see what I'm saying? Like they beat that young man up, man. They pulled him out. They was frustrated he didn't get out when they wanted him to get out, and they punished him.
For sure.
That's what they
Even
did.
on the body cam,
You know?
you see that when he closes the door, the cop moves to the back quarter panel on the driver's, behind the pass, which is common sense. It is their training, because if you do have an active shooter, they now have to turn around to get to you. So it makes sense. But the cop, when he moves to that position, again, like you just said, one, doesn't touch his weapon at all. Two, didn't make a claim to anybody else around him. I'm backing up for my own protection. No, he's just doing what protocol tells him. But if there was that threat, then he starts to make those, he has to let the other cops know, hey, I backed up because I see this weapon. Hey, I backed up because he's getting threatening. He didn't do that. He just backed up because that was protocol. So I didn't see a weapon even on the young man's video. There was two cops that had direct sight. There's a cop on the driver's side and a cop on the passenger side, because you see the young man talking to the cop on the passenger side. So that they're communicating to each other right there. No one said knife. No one said weapon. So did you find one afterwards? Possible. But don't say he went for it, because we didn't see that.
If he would have went for that, they would have shot that man.
Of course.
Salute.
Yeah, you wouldn't be all right. I'm breaking the window. That's someone who was resisting. Like I said, when they get that chance for resisting, it seems they love it. That means they can take things to another level of aggression. I just, Only Facts said it earlier. They're peace officers. They're really not anymore. Like those words have been taken out completely. To people say, oh, they're supposed to protect it. No, they took protect out. They serve.
Right. Man, they serve. They don't serve us.
Yeah, that's true. It's a mess. Like I said, that level of aggression is unwarranted.
I understand, we human. So, adrenaline, like, you don't get trained. In training, they teach you stuff, but when you really out there, the adrenaline and all that, I've been in situations, but you also train to be professional, keep your cool and stuff like that. So when that man wasn't complying and coming out there, they was getting mad. It was tearing them up. That wasn't supposed to, they were supposed to, like, you know what I'm saying? Get some discipline over there.
There's nothing to be that aggressive about. Right. There's 5 of them there.
But they was mad because he didn't, he didn't comply. So, but they shouldn't be getting mad. That's not professional. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, there should be de-escalation training. Like I said, that last shot, like you clearly, it looks like a punch to me. Even if it was a slap, it doesn't look like you were trying to bust the window out. It looked like you accomplished that already, and you seen a nice clear shot, so you took it.
And like you said, even if that one shot was a mistake. Yeah. When they pulled him out that car, that was multiple punches.
That wasn't, no. That, like you said, a bully, that's what we've seen in school, right? His buddies grab your arms and the bully does whatever, whatever. Yeah, it was a jump. Then you see it, like even on the body cam, you got a cop holding his head, you got 2 cops holding his legs, and he's trying to, I'm putting my arms behind it, but he's still arguing, but he's putting his arms, he's complying. So it's like, all right, guys, let's calm down a bit. Let's stop acting like everybody we rip out of cars is trying to fight us. It's 5-on-1 with a guy who's unarmed. What's the fear?
Right. They got a taser. They got pepper spray.
5-on-1, I've never feared anyone.
They got a vest on. They got, they got everything on. Like they armored up and weapons up. And this man has nothing. And it's just.
I've been in situations where 2-on-1 and I felt invincible.
Right. But they got all of those things for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, to prevent going, having to do that. But that's the first thing they want to do.
Unbelievable. It's in 2025. That's where I'm at. Like, since 2020, you think cops be like, oh, crap. We got a spotlight on us. We got to calm down a little bit. I mean, that's any other profession, right? Like you could work at Walmart, but if they're like, hey, we smell cigarette smoke in the bathrooms, you're going to stop smoking.
Yeah.
These guys are like, hey, yous are killing, pardon, yous are taking people out and yous are hurting people, and you know, all these cases. Even if you're innocent, we still got to go to court. Let's calm it down a bit. It's still not. It's a mess.
Miss Pamela, you back? Yeah, Miss Pamela having trouble with the connection.
Some technical.
Yeah, but this is something I say, you know.
Yeah, hello? Hello?
There
Oh,
you
there
are.
you go.
I'm sorry. You know what? I've been having microphone problems for months and it's really ticking me off.
Yeah, it happens. You know how this thing goes.
You mean with
Tech.
my microphone? Yeah. No, it's making me mad because there's so many times I want to participate, but my microphone's messed up. And I don't want to buy another iPhone.
Uh-oh, I think you went out again.
Well, I'm gonna jump down. I'm sorry.
No, I said salute to Craig. I ain't jumping down. Salute, my brother.
Appreciate calling in. Great topic as always, my brother. Make sure y'all are liking and becoming members. Salute Pammy and salute Brother Bees. Appreciate you guys.
Salute. Yeah, I can't hear you, Miss Pamela. I think your connection. But yeah, man, let me play the clip again. I'm done.
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
Kasi kita serious. Sige,
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right. Get on the ground.
No,
Get on the
no,
ground.
don't.
Get on the ground.
It looks like it's a sucker punch because he's looking straight and you
Yeah.
see this.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out and
Yep.
you see a couple of punches to the face. Now, again, I understand breaking the window, but he charged him with resisting arrest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think the public saw a lot of
Well,
violence.
first of all, Eric, don't try to talk the public into what they saw. They just saw the same videos you saw.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got on that. Salute, Miss Pamela. Appreciate you. It's all good. Kenzo, salute. Salute to all the members. Appreciate y'all. Salute to all the supporters. Everybody in the chat, all the subscribers. Everybody watching from the behind the scenes. Everybody who catch this on the replay. Is your host, your DJ. Holla at your boy.